Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another guest edition of the Terrible Podcast. Today's quote is actually from the movie The Matrix, and it's from the Oracle, and it's something that the Oracle says to Neo. And the reason we're going to use this quote is because our guest likes the Oracle deck. And so I figured, hey, the Oracle, everyone knows the Oracle from The Matrix, right? And this quote it's after the Oracle says what she has to say to Neo and gives him a cookie. And she's like, you'll remember, you don't even believe in any of this fake crap. You're in control of your life, remember? And that was basically in reference to him not believing what she said. And she's like, by the time you're eating this cookie, you'll remember you don't even believe in any of this crap. So anyway, Ashley, how you doing today?
Doing well. I'm like very excited for the weekend to just kind of unwind. I'm saying that, but I know I'm going to be working like all weekend. To go to the quote, as our listeners know on our journey with the two of us, I had never seen The Matrix when we started. and you were the one that pushed me to watch it. So I watched
Come on.
I know. I watched it and I become like kind of obsessed with Keanu Reeves and for multiple of reasons. But what I loved about the first movie, the other movies, that first movie though was really, really, I felt like so different. It was so outside of the box. It was so brilliant. And it really made you, for me, when I was watching it, and I think it's different watching it as an adult. And by adult, I mean like an older person in a 30s situation. But watching it being like, if I had watched this when I was younger, I wouldn't have gotten it. If I'd watched it when it came out, I think when it came out, it was like 11 or something, and what would I have gotten? An 11-year-old would be like, whoa, but as a 30-year-old, I can watch it and be like, yeah, I related so much to that. And I loved the character of the Oracle in the movie. And I thought that his journey is so reflective, especially now of maybe like the past couple years of my journey. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form I am Neo, but I'm saying that I can relate to him.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. That's what any great piece of art will have you do. But anyway, let's bring our guest in. Hi, Jamie. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I couldn't be better, honestly. I'm doing what I love to do. And if anyone's listening to this, I advise you to do that too. And I feel like you're somebody who does what you love to do. So why don't you tell the people what you do?
So I'm actually I'm an intuitive business coach. Okay. I really work on sales and marketing. That's like my thing. That's what I'm good at. Yeah. But I'm also extremely intuitive and I use my gifts. So I do card pulls. I do with Oracle cards, and I help give guidance and clarity to other people. So it's another option. People can book readings with me as well, and I do that actually very often. I just had one yesterday as well. So I love what I do. I feel like I'm able to change lives with my gifts. So
all right, so let me ask you, you said intuitive business coach. What do you mean intuitive?
So intuitive, but yes, there is like a difference here. Okay. I say intuitive because if I say that I have psychic abilities, right? Everyone's just automatically going to start asking me like what their dead mother or grandmother is saying to them. Okay.
Yep, that's me. That would be me.
So, and that's a medium, correct?
Right.
Yes. I am not a medium. Okay. I cannot communicate with the other side. I have a sense of knowing. Okay. It is the sense of just like, it comes in my head. It's thought, and I have to say it immediately. Okay. And it's on point. It's on point. And I also I take in a lot of people's energy. I'm a projector. I don't know if you guys do human design at all.
I don't go into it. Let's explain what that is. Let's figure this out here.
Sure. So human design is how you're designed by astrology when you were born. So there's 5 types of humans. Okay. Yep. There's generators, manifesting generators, projectors, reflectors, and manifestors. Okay.
I'm like, I want to know what I am.
I think I've
find out for you.
heard. So I've either heard of this or I've heard of something very similar and adjacent to this because I am into like Myers-Briggs, but just a different interpretation. It's an interpretation that is a little underground, but I feel it's a lot more accurate. Similar to how you say you tell people you're intuitive, and if you can't say you're psychic because they'll think all these things. That's what I feel is like the exterior, the outside. And if you get into the inner parts of these, yeah. So I get you. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So, as a projector, we don't have an energy source. So we don't give off energy. We take it in from other people. And that's kind of how we like move throughout the world is we're just taking energy in. We're also splenic defined. Okay. So your spleen is like your natural instinct, your fight or flight, your ability to, you know, a lion, how a lion saves itself, right? So, and that is your intuition. That's what tells you what is good for you and bad for you. Okay.
Yes.
So, because I'm splenic defined and I don't have my own energy source, I take on other people's energy. I am able to, one, get really in touch with people's energy. And three, I have a very strong sense of intuition. And then with my sense of knowing, I am able to really just help people and give them guidance. I mean, a lot of it is just guidance. Oracle cards to me validate my thoughts. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, it does.
So when I look at an oracle card, I don't, do you know how they come with the books, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's what it means. I don't do that. I look at it, I hear my thought, right? Because it's very instant. And if you don't act on it, it's gone. So a lot of times people that are really that have the sense of knowing interrupt people a lot. Okay, so if I do that, I'm sorry. And we will be like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, it's totally fine. If you have to interrupt, just go ahead. Don't feel bad about it. I'd rather you interrupt than it come through. Yeah, that's fine. I get it because I'm the same way sometimes. I look at myself, see, I'm interrupting you, but I look at myself as a extroverted intuition person. And it's basically like because of my pattern recognition skills, I can look at somebody, I could see what they're saying, I could see the trajectory of their life. And this makes me good at poker. And then I could kind of deduce what's going to happen. And I just get these feelings that come to me and I'm like, no, don't do that, do this, don't do that, you know. And that's just my way to explain it to people. And I could say, yeah, it's magic, or maybe it's just the way my crazy brain works. It doesn't matter. It's just a tool that I have. And if you want to benefit from it, you should listen. And if you don't want to listen to me, it's fine. I'll say I told you so, but I won't anymore. But you know what I mean?
No,
but yeah. Go ahead,
I think that's oh sorry. I think that's awesome. And you know what my intuition, which is the energy, right, that you take on, and that's more of like your gut instinct, like it's like a gut like or right? Has made me really good at sales. I'll tell you that. It has made me very good at sales. I've been in sales now for oh my god. That's gonna make me feel 16 years, I believe. And when I first started out in my early 20s, I was top in sales in this company I worked for. They had 5 companies around the United States. And out of all 5 companies, they're a very big reputable company. And I was top in sales. And the reason being was because when I met with somebody, I was able to literally connect into their energy and almost like vibe with them. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, I like this girl. She gets me. Because we're selling ourselves.
Right. Yes. 100%.
Yeah, I've been in sales. I was actually in the car business for about 8 or 9 years, and I did everything from sales to sales manager to finance manager. I was a service advisor also, which I really excelled at toward the end because I could take these complicated ideas of how cars work and how the transmission works and what's wrong with like the mechanic would tell me and I'd understand. And then I could spit it out and dumb it down to the customer so they could understand. And they loved me because I was just like, here you go. So that is where I found also is because it was more like in car sales, it's like all or nothing. This was great. I had like 5 things and they could take 3. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It was really about that. You're just selling yourself. And if people like you and they trust you, then they feel like they'll buy from you. And that's kind of why I had to get out of that business, because I wasn't selling a product that I always believed in. Like, I sold Nissan, so I really believe that. That was different. But more, it wasn't like me doing for myself. I was doing it for someone else. I was allowing somebody else to tap into my creative energy to make money for them, which is fine if, I'm not like condemning it for people. But now that I do it for myself, it's just such a more freeing experience.
Exactly. I agree 100%. That's why I've shipped it out.
So Jamie, you're talking, there's these 5 different, I don't even know what you want to call them, types, right? Let's get back to this. Yeah. How do you figure out what your type is?
Absolutely. So do you want me to do it for you real quickly?
100% yes. All
right.
I've never been more sure of Ashley in my life that she was going to say yes. Like,
that's so funny. All right. So wait, do you know the time you were born?
Yes.
Oh I also my God, you're too. One of the first.
I know too. Oh yeah.
People that I ask are like, oh wait, I don't know. I got to go find out. It takes like days for them to get back to me.
Okay. I have a friend, just while you're doing that, just so you know, I have a friend that I figured out recently. I'm exactly 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days older than him. He doesn't know what time he was born, and I'm kind of weirded out to know. But how crazy is that? I've been friends with him for like 10 years and just figured this out. It's like, whoa.
That is awesome. Too.
And I was going to say, I that's the one who taught me after the car business. Basically, I got out of that to how to DJ. And then he owns a company that I work for. I'm actually a little older than him, but I just got off the phone with him now, and I'm kind of like his business spiritual advisor, like to talk to. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway.
See, I love the universe.
Yeah.
I love the universe.
Synchronicities.
Ashley, how do you spell your last name?
You spell it. Oh, I changed it because I didn't put it up there. It's UKLEJA. And for those listening, it's pronounced Euclegia. Literally exactly how it looks.
And what's your social security number? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm the comedian.
Debit and credit card. Yeah.
Big laughs. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I need the year you were born.
87.
See, guys, you can go on anything online and just find it out.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of all the free things because, why not? You just got to work harder. That's all.
I mean, you can. It tells you the basics, and then you can pay. But then I'm like, you know what? Instead, I'm just gonna go on YouTube or go on, and find something and just study it.
I have an underground podcast empire that I basically pay like $18 a year for 3 websites, $18 each, but all these things that because I just utilize the free versions of everything, and it's a little more work. But if something starts to blow up, like I just released a book, if that website starts to blow up, then I could throw money into it and make it. But for now, it's a .com and it looks official, but it's just me doing most of the work. That's all.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Why not? I see all these people dumping their money, but anyway, go ahead.
No, I know. What month were you born?
June.
June, baby. What day?
24th.
My daughter is June 16th. Okay, what time?
1:52 p.m.
Yep, so military time, that'd be 13:52, right?
Yes.
Yep.
City and state, or if it's a small town, the nearest largest city.
It's not. It's New Haven, Connecticut. Born at Yale.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready to find out?
Yes.
So basically, I go into this. It's myhumandesign.com. Okay. It asks you this information, and it says view your chart.
Yes.
And you are the most common type. You are a generator.
Okay.
We want to know what a generator does. You are, however, splenic defined. You're sacral defined. So you listen to your gut, but your split definition, I'll tell you what a generator is. Hold on. Split definition. So meaning that you have 2 inner voices because your spleen is defined, and then your sacral. Okay. So your sacral is your gut response, and your spleen. So you have this issue where you have like two inner voices.
Yes, I do.
See? And it can be very challenging. However, a generator is here. They make up the majority of the population. Okay. Now, when you think about it, like me as a projector, okay, I'm like the project manager. That's like my type. I'm the one that has really great ideas. Okay. And I help guide. I'm a guide. I help guide people. Okay. Generators are the ones that are like the workers, and they're there to create. Okay. So, like, normally they say generators need a projector in their life because we like give you the blueprints and you create it.
Yep.
So you're a creator.
I would agree with that. I wish it was something that was I felt a little bit more special.
You are special.
You are special. You're creating the reality in which everyone exists right now.
Exactly. I mean,
and if more people realize that, it'd be a better world, because they don't realize that they're actually at the helm, which is hilarious because they watch the television, in my opinion, too much. Anyway.
Like manifestors, I feel like everybody wants to be a manifester. Like, oh, because you think of manifesting, but manifestors can tend to be very egotistical because they've just always, everything just is given to them. You know what I mean? And they also suffer with the issue of they're the ones that can either go use their like manipulation stuff that they have for bad or for good. So they have to really kind of watch out on what they do. And they're just kind of given everything. They're, sorry to any manifestor that might be listening to this, but, they tend to just not really know how to put things into place, be, good workers, blah, blah, blah. They're the ones with silver spoons in their mouth. So
I want to be that.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You like having the
it's a whole different path, like they say it's better to fail in your own path than succeed in someone else's. And I get exactly what you're saying. And there's an order to this where I feel like it'd work really beneficial if more people were aware of this. It would work better. But, for some reason we don't know about it. So we're, a lot of people are working dysfunctionally. But anyway, again, no judgments. It's just the way the world works.
Yeah. And I'll just show you guys. See right there. That's kind of what a body graph will look like. It has the 7 chakras, but it kind of splits off into a couple more, like I said, like the spleen and all that. So it's a little bit newer. Obviously, people haven't heard about it, and it kind of makes up. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different energy sources, and not 7.
Yep.
So
the more you talk about it, reminds me of, I think my friend Catherine's been talking about this system a little bit. So
yeah, it's very cool. And it talks about your profile. So the lines of where the stars are angled, like what line, and you're a 5-1, and a 5-1 is the challenge solver. Now I can't tell you off the top of my head much about a 5-1, but a challenge solver sounds pretty awesome. That sounds pretty special.
That sounds like somebody you want to have around. That sounds like not everyone can do it. Sounds special. Okay, so for our listeners, we will include the link to this in our description of the podcast and on our postings about it. So you can check out yours. Let us know who you are. If anyone else is like me, if you've got something different. Is anyone here a manifester? Do you think that's what your kind of life has been like? I think it's so interesting. I've literally never heard about this, ever.
Well, manifestors only make up like 4% of the population. So, hopefully there's not too many that
well, the thing about manifesting is you got to be very careful about that, because things, and I feel like right now, this time we're in, like 2021, I feel like more people are gaining that manifesting power too. It's like because where people are putting their attention, it's just starting to grow and happen from what I'm seeing, like negative or positive. That's why I was like, turn off the TV, like it's.
Oh yeah, 1,000. And just because you're this type or are this defined doesn't mean that you can't open up.
Right.
And be part of something greater, or take on different abilities. No, that's not true at all.
And if you're yeah, exactly. If you're someone who's listening, who has had a problem working with people in the past or with friends and stuff and you didn't fit quite in. When you understand these aspects of yourself, I could just speak to my own experience in my own life. When you start to understand these aspects, you could either change your role in your group of friends and see how it goes, or just get new friends where you fit in that, and then you can create and do things, and you get together and you make things like the Terrible Podcast. Everybody go to terrible.com to check us out. No. But yeah, that's exactly what happens. People are like, you have a podcast? How'd you do that? I'm like, I just did it. Like, how'd you learn? I'm like, do you ever heard of this thing called the internet? Well, you could go on the internet and you could just look up YouTube videos and a 12-year-old kid will show you how to do everything. It's so hilarious. It's like little kid, like, this is how you build a website. I'm like, this guy's probably a millionaire right now. This video is like 5 years old, you know, like, anyway, but bring us back, Ashley. Where were we going?
Okay. Yes. So, all right, you're talking about this. Do you do these kinds of charts for your clients?
I do. So, especially when I do a one-on-one reading, I will always ask for their information. And that's when I start off telling them all about their human design. Like I said, if I don't like a 5-1, I've never had a 5-1. I've never had a 5-1 girl.
Well,
so, so if I don't know, then yes, that's when I'm like, all right, let me research, let me get all the information. What's a 5-1? But I have a lot of it pretty down now. But and so then I tell them about themselves.
Yep.
Right. This is how you work. This is what's good for you. Do you notice this about yourself? You know, and it's a lot of it through learning to trust your intuition, learning to trust your abilities, learning to trust in the universe, you know, is by validation.
Yes.
Because I've been doing this for so long now. And, you know, at first it's like something's different about me. All right. And then, you know, you do the work, you figure it out, you know, you go in deep, you work with, you know, people that are like-minded like you, et cetera, et cetera. And then you start just doing it. And then the validation's like, whoa, yes, it is right. So by me of doing this so many times and people being like, yeah, it's like, okay, trust yourself. And that's the biggest thing, is trusting yourself. But anyways, so yes, I do their human design, and then I do pull cards. I think, and you know, in my one-on-ones, they kind of end up going more with less cards and just me start free talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some people get like upset with that.
Yep.
You know, because I'm not pulling cards. But guys, I really don't need the cards all the time. Like I said, the cards just give me that validation of my thoughts versus the thoughts that are being channeled through.
And so
let me just add something really quick about the cards too. Another thing the cards do, I found in my experience, is it allows you to communicate with a person where it's not you giving them advice. It's them figuring out through the cards, and you're a guide. So it's more like, it's kind of like not like if you're somebody who looks at it from a Christian angle, it's like not casting pearls before swine, because sometimes truth is a dangerous thing. It's a tool. Sometimes you give somebody too much and they go, if they're not ready or whatever it is. So yeah, I like that, because I used to give, in my own life, I used to try to give people advice, and I found a lot of times it would backfire, even though I was right about things, or they just wouldn't listen, or they would hate me for it. Now I'm just like, here's a card. Look at what this could look. The guy's falling off a cliff. You see the dog, he's trying to stop him. Like, you see,
yeah. So don't, like, I got this card. It said, move forward fearlessly. And in there, they're saying this, like, yeah, girl, like, it's time to move it. Oh, but the card told you. Yeah. So it's more or less like a third party, you know, type.
And then everyone's friends at the end of the day, and you don't have to do I told you so's, or no one gets mad at you because you're told their boyfriend you're cheating on or something. You know what I mean? It's just like,
I don't do that. No.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even if I'm like, this girl needs to leave this relationship, I don't say that. I more or less really.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Well, I was just going to say, because I found in my own life, it's not up to us to decide. It's up to, you know, God, the universe, the source, whatever you think it is, the spaghetti monster. Like, it's the plan. You just got, this person has something obviously they need to learn. So you're just there to kind of show them the way if they ask, or kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, and we all have our own free will. So, you know, people will come to me and be like, should I go to start this business? Should I start this business? Like, I can't tell you that you're going to start this business and you're going to become a millionaire in 5 years. You know, But what we can do is we can work through, okay, so I'm seeing that you are, very much in your fear zone, right? Like I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that you're in your fear zone, right? I'm hearing that you're suffering with like negative thought, like imposter syndrome type, you know what imposter
Yep.
syndrome is,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So therefore, I would work on these things
Yep.
before you're going to jump into a business. Why? Because you're not going to get nowhere with these two things hanging over your head. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're saying, yeah, it's more of like the guidance, and then people have their own free will. They can literally say, okay, I hear her. I want to do the work. I want to put the work in. I want to be a better version of myself and make this successful. Or they can go to sleep and wake up and live their life the same way that they were.
That's so powerful. Literally, I feel like I'm living that right now of like that. It's very, I'm trying to start a business, and I had a reading with a medium, and she told me this is the area I should be going into and stuff. And so I got to that point of like, what should I do? Should I go down the path that's comfortable, or should I try something that's totally different and see? And if I'm going to do something, I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to go 100% in, which is what I'm trying to do right now. So I love that. Now, when you do these one-on-ones, when you first get on camera with that person, do you immediately get something? Like, do you feel something from them, or get some like when you first interact with them, or you're like, oh, I have to tell them this, this, this.
Sometimes I get stuff before I'm even on with them. Because I cannot communicate with people from the past, but I do have a very high energy, sense. And so sometimes like I'll get like goosebumps on my arms, and then to me, I know that that's somebody's like with me, like whether that's like their guides, whether that's somebody that passed, like they're with me right now, then they're gonna, be there, and they want to help pull these messages through.
And if you don't get that though, like it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
Okay.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I can always pretty much get in it. And yes, I do. I do pick up on their energy right away. And there's so many people that are like, don't talk. Like, don't, they don't want to talk. They just want you to give all the information. But they don't realize that the more that they talk, the more, and not giving me information, because I don't need to give you the guidance that's coming through. It's something you don't know.
Yep.
It's something that's subconscious, right? So, but the more you kind of tell me about you and your life, the more I get.
Yes.
And the more I'm going to be able to figure out and help you figure out, and let the guides come through, and let the messages and the thoughts come through, and the energy come through to help you find clarity and find this what you need to do to move forward.
I'm going to have to ask. I literally have to. I cannot stop myself. Did you get any feelings from Brandon and I when you first signed on to Zoom? I can't not ask. I have to. Like, were you immediately like, oh, I feel this?
No, I feel that Brandon is that you guys are both spiritual, okay, and that you guys are both gifted. I feel Brandon's a little bit more. Right?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really didn't. Because I've been doing this so long, I also can like block it out too. So I didn't go in this with the reading. I didn't meditate and stuff before, but I do have I get a much stronger energy, like it's you're coming like powerfully. Brandon is, but I sense it in you too, and I sense you. Wait, that you have a very strong willpower.
Yes.
Do you?
Yes, I would agree with that.
I would agree too.
And Brandon, you're more laid back. Not that you don't want it, like you don't want it. Like you want big things, and you're gonna do big things. But you're more like, like I'm gonna let the universe. I'm relaxed. I'm calm. I'm living my life.
It's all perfect, baby. It's all
yes.
perfect.
Yeah. 100%.
Perfect the way it is.
Exactly.
Where Ashley, I see you more like, no, it's not.
Yep. I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that.
And I'll just say that that's perfect.
So that's just a little bit. That's just a little bit. I mean,
could we also do my thing too with the kind of person?
Oh, yes, we can.
Because I'm just saying, I'm not just speaking for myself, but I'm sure there's listeners who are like, what about Brandon? Because I know there's probably at least one or two.
They're going to be like, Ashley is such a piece of shit. She's always like, do me.
No, I've been actually getting some very good feedback. I talked to Lee last night on the phone for a couple of hours. Our friend Lee, I've had her on my podcast in the past, but she's in the Air Force or the Air National Guard, and now she's become an officer and she's doing some training. But she was talking about how she listens to the podcast every morning while she's like getting ready and stuff, and she loves it. So yeah.
All right,
shout out to her.
Year.
1970. You know, why don't you guess? No, 1976.
Month.
July.
Date.
2.
Time of birth.
12:13 p.m. 1213.
Okay. And city and state.
New Haven, Connecticut.
Oh my goodness, you guys are neighbors.
Yeah, I was technically born in Milford, but it's close enough for all the
Can you guys tell where I'm from? Most people can. By the way I talk.
New Orleans.
No.
I just gave
I was feeling.
Let's say like, don't you know?
Oh, Minnesota.
Close, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. There you go. If I heard you say Wisconsin, I would have been like, Wisconsin. I didn't really think New Orleans. I was just, That's awesome. So you still live there now?
Yeah, I live like the border to Illinois is like right down the street.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I kind of feel like I live in both.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I need to go to the grocery store. I'm gonna go to Illinois to go to the grocery store. You know.
Where'd you go today? I went to Illinois. You might have heard of it. That's how I pronounce it, Illinois. I like to mispronounce Illinois, but in the way that no one does it, Illinois. I've actually been there because I was in the Marine Corps. It's really hard to like tell that for most people, but I was in the Marine Corps active duty in the 90s, and I was in Sikeston, Missouri, and I went to Cape Girardeau or Girardeau, whatever it is, Illinois, and we stayed there.
I've never even heard that.
Exactly. See what I mean? Exactly.
So what was that by like Gurney Mills?
I'm not really, I'd have to look at a map. I'm really good with maps, but we were at Memphis, Tennessee, and then we would take a few hour long drives to go to Sikeston, Missouri. And then from there, it was close to Cape Girardeau, which is near the river. I guess it's like the Mississippi River's up there and everything. So.
Oh yeah, that's on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
It wasn't by Chicago, right?
No, I didn't go to. I've only been to Chicago, the airport, I believe. So yeah.
So I live about 45 minutes from Chicago.
Ooh, that's got to be interesting.
Yeah, we go there often. I lived there for a little bit, and I couldn't do it.
Too many people, or?
Yeah, you know, I would GPS. Okay, I need to go to Walgreens. You guys have Walgreens, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure. You know, some people are like, what the heck is that?
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
We only have CVS.
I live like an hour outside New York City, so I get it.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, Walgreens, 2.4 miles away, and I'm like, oh, cool, all right, not far. 45 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't do it.
That's kind of like life in LA. All right.
Oh,
what
you're
is Brandon?
Oh.
I'm going back, but right now I'm in North Carolina.
But yeah, she grew up in. Go ahead.
What is Brandon?
This does not surprise me. It does not. Brandon, you are also a projector, just like me, and you are very much splenic defined.
Okay.
And you are a 2-4. And I love this definition. Ready? If this is so you. And guy, I just want to remind you, I have never met Ashley or Brandon before.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So, but this is so you. The easy breezy genius.
Oh my God, that is Brandon.
Yeah.
Put that on your new profile on your profile of Facebook and on
The easy
Instagram.
breezy genius. Yeah, exactly. I
Is
like
it
that.
not? I feel like that
Yeah.
sums it up for him.
I feel validated. I've been
So-
kind of referring myself that lately as like a genius. And I'm like, guys, I'm not saying it's cocky. I'm just saying it because so many times in my life, I felt like I was an outcast or like an idiot because of my views. And now it's like, no, I was the one who was actually smarter and right.
Yeah. So you have like a need for success, okay? Like that's like your like aspiration, right? Like it's kind of like, and success is defined by so many different things, right? One person's success is extremely different than somebody else's.
Yeah.
But that is what like ultimately like you want to feel success. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, and I see what you're saying. It doesn't mean in a material realm because the words that we use paint different pictures in people's heads. And for the listeners, just so you know, we had and they probably would remember that Jennifer, who was on a couple weeks ago, spoke with me and told me that I'm also going to encounter wealth, but not in the area of financial, more in the area of enlightenment, like great wealth. And I get that for sure. And that success is something that I yearn for. That's why I wrote this book. If you go to shadowworked.com, you can get my book.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's what I want to do because I feel like I have kind of overcome and done some healing myself, and I could show other people how I did it. And by doing that, I feel like they can kind of figure their own way out. But yeah, I want success in that area for sure.
Yeah. So you're a guide, and that is exactly what you're talking about. That's what we do. So I actually just learned this really cool thing too in it. So in every movie, right? In every movie, there's a hero, there's a villain, there's a victim, there's a guide, and I don't remember what that one is, but this is fine, right? Okay. So the victim is the one with victim mentality, right? They're the ones that get wrapped up in a blanket at the end of the movie and they get flown away to the hospital, okay? The villain and the hero are the two of the same. They just went down different paths. They both had very traumatic pasts, right? But the hero wants to save everybody and the villain's like, you know what, screw you, I got hurt, I'm gonna hurt everyone else too. And the guide is the one with wisdom who helps the hero help everybody else. So as projectors, we are the guides. We're the guides in like the movie of life. And through your business, you don't want to be a hero, you want to be a guide. And with helping other people, because that's same with me. Like I went through a lot in my life and I changed and I got better. And now I want to help other people, know that they can be better too. And so therefore I play the role of the guide, and that's what you're meant to do as well.
Wow, that's amazing because I've recently just said to somebody, and this is why I kind of chose this quote, because you said you like the Oracle quote. And I said this to somebody recently, and I even like made a Facebook post about it. Hilarious. It's like, you need to wake up. It's like, because they're looking at me. I'm like, I'm not Neo. You're Neo. I'm the Oracle. Like, you need to go out there and do it. I did the work. I'm the one who already did it. I faced the demons. They are my now servants. You get it? And you need to go do that work now. I cannot do it for you. You must go out and do it. I'm Yoda, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you.
You're like
so validating.
Yeah, like okay, so I don't watch all those movies.
I get you. This for the viewers too. I get on the pop culture one. Don't worry. Ashley's the same way. So I had to like grind her down to watch Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I don't
I'm
anymore
put it
though.
in The Lion King, right?
There you go. Perfect. I've seen that.
What's the guy that shook his cane's name?
Rafiki.
Yeah, we're Rafiki. That's who we are. Okay.
Yeah. I love it. All right. That's why I got to start speaking in parables and wisdoms or in like riddles and stuff, kind of like Jesus in the Bible, or like, because direct knowledge sometimes to people could be harming. It's like when you're watering a plant, sometimes you spray it because you want it to come through the soil. You don't just dump it on there, because
Yeah.
So Ashley, what are your thoughts on that? I want to hear what you have to say.
I no, but Brandon has been like my guide. And when we first started, even when we first started the podcast, you were a guide in the sense of like, I had never done a podcast before. Didn't know I can talk to anybody about anything and I can keep talking, but it's very different. Like, you know, when you're recording to not have verbal crutches and whatever. And so, and then in the past year and a half, I've been like, my life has just totally changed. And I can't even tell you how many times I reach out to Brandon. He's like normally up at like literally all hours of the day. So I'll just like send him something like, I'm sad, or I'm this, or I'm that. And he'll just immediately respond back to help be like, okay, but let's look at this. Look at these other things that you're doing. Or like, it's okay to be sad. I can't even tell you how many times he told me that, where I hate that. Like, I don't want it to be okay for me to be sad. Like, I just want somebody to like fix it, you know?
Yeah.
But the person who had to fix it was me, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and until you're the victim in that movie. And I feel that if you could not associate or not identify as the victim so much in your own life, things get to become better, and even take the blame up for things and start to even take blame for things that isn't yours, just for the heck of it. Not in a way where you're like trying to be a nice person and you're like not establishing boundaries, but you know, why not? If something goes wrong, because people around you, when they see you take responsibility, that's powerful. That's things that we're not really taught. And, you know, I was just talking about this with my friend Dwayne on the phone before, the guy I said the 222 with. But yeah, that's really what it's about. It's if you could be that example for people and just step up and take responsibility, other people will respond, and then other people see that response and then they want it. And it's like monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. And we just have to be careful, you and I, and I get that this is a past experience that you've also have had trial and error with, that you've grown from. Is that there's certain people that play the victims, right? Because we are guides and we're naturally here to like be like, what, don't you want to be better? Right? And there's people that just don't. They just don't, right?
Hang on. This is my response to that. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. Anyway, go ahead.
And then before you know it, we're spending all of our energy, all of our time, all of it that we could be putting into ourselves, into these people that don't even want it, until we're just literally exhausted and depleted, and they just like shit on us. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. And then it's ultimately up to us to realize that's a choice we're making, right? Like, we could allow that or not, because if not, then we're being the victim again for people listening. I know you get it, but yeah.
And then we have to set those boundaries, and we have to understand we can't help people who don't want to be helped.
Yeah, this is great. I feel like the people I've been meeting recently, I feel like a midget among giants right now. Like, I've been led into this world, and it's similar to how they speak with like hermetics and esotericism, where it's like an inner knowing and a way to speak with people, but it's like a language that people kind of get. And then, yeah, it's amazing. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. That's really going to help me a lot. Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
Well, I just wanted to show you, see the graph, and do you see how yours is much different? Ashley's, yours was very full, right? A lot of them were filled in.
Yeah, why?
Because they're filled with energy, all right? So you give off your own energy, like of your heart. Your heart is willpower, you know, love, all that. You give off. Now, with a projector who's splenic defined, like me and Brandon, we are very open. Why? Because we have, the only way to get energy filled with that is by taking it from other people. So that's why we especially like feel that, right? We feel people, we pull in people's emotion. We're able to blend in. Now, tell me if you resonate with this, because I do. Are you able to blend in with certain different types of crowds?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm like a chameleon if I need to be, for sure.
Yes, me too. Like, I can go,
but not in a fake way. Like, I always maintain, just for people listening, like, because there's different levels of this, but I maintain myself now, especially because I'm more mature, and I'll maintain my let's just say like my morals, basically. Like, I'm not going to sell myself out and go, I mean, I might rob banks. That sounds fun. But, you know, but when I'm with people, I will super adapt to the situation, go with the flow. And I like just, yeah, dude, let's do it. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm very much like, Like I'll just say, for instance, like I can go to a country concert
Mm.
and have the best time of my life, and then I can go to a rap concert and have the best time of my life too. You know, like I can just adapt to my surroundings and be okay with it. And same concept. I think that I make sure that I stay in my own lane and I'm okay with, you know, what I'm around and who I'm around, but with, you know, the different aspects of things, I can, yeah, I'm really good at that. And that's because we just take on people's energy. That's what we do. We don't have our own energy to give off. Well, some, but not, we don't have our own energy source.
Have you found anything with diet that is different and helps, like because of the spleen, you know?
Yeah, so they do talk a little bit about diet.
Look at me, I'm such a nerd.
That's a great question. I'm literally like, as soon as we get off of this, I'm gonna be like on that website, being okay, what am I?
Hey guys, I started a new business. I'm going to tell you what person type you are.
I know, right?
Okay, so I would research it because it's not giving me very much.
No, that's
at all.
fine. I just wondered, what about in your own experience? Have you ever had anything that you could share in that experience?
In my own, I tend to eat. I don't like a lot of breads and stuff. I like more fruits and stuff like that. I get like.
Yeah, I stopped eating bread a while ago.
It makes me, and then I feel like, ugh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I experiment a lot these days with my diet. I'm gonna say this on the podcast because I'm a comedian, I get away with it. But the new thing I'm gonna be experimenting with is urine therapy, where you basically drink your own urine the first capture in the morning, like an ounce or whatever, you mix it and blend it with stuff. And I know it sounds crazy, but like the results are people are like their gray hair is going back to black, like their skin is all clearing up. It's amazing because what's urine really is, it's basically blood without the cells and the platelets in it, you know, like things aren't always what we're told. Yeah, anyway, so
that's a crazy
yeah
thing.
I'll let you guys, I'll keep you posted. Like I'm gonna start turning yellow.
Posted.
I should start doing that, like putting yellow makeup on. Like, guys, this is great. Like,
and your mustache like
all crinkled. Oh, that's so gross. Ashley, how dare you? People are probably eating their breakfast right now. No, I'm just kidding. That's great. So yeah, anyway, but yeah, I feel the same way with grains. Yeah, go ahead. Bread.
So Jamie, do you always feel like you've had this kind of gift?
Yeah, I have. But you know what? I never was really understanding of it. And I was a emotional roller coaster.
Yep.
Like that's what my life consisted of. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I've been diagnosed with like, and not, you know what I mean? Like I went to different mental care facility. Oh my God, make it sound like I've been in like crazy houses. No, I have not. Like
people watch this show know me, so it's fine.
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna think you are crazier than me, so it's fine. Go ahead, you're good.
I mean, I've been diagnosed with massive depressive disorder, with swings, borderline personality disorder, ADHD, all this stuff. And
ooh, what are you doing later? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. I know. It's like, guys, I don't have any of that. I don't have any of that. And now I am actually like went down this path of doing the work and doing the internal work and being the best version and be mindful and all of that. And I went back to the doctor and I said, I want to be tested. Like I want to have a full test. And I clinically did not meet any criteria for any of them at all.
Good. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was literally a mood swing. Why? Because I took on all of this energy from people. So I would be angry and then sad and I didn't know what was going on, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm tired and I'm crabby and then I'm happy. And people are like, who are you today?
Yep.
And I had no idea about grounding, about releasing, the energy and understanding like, this isn't me. Right. So I'm going to like ground myself, bring myself back to who I am, how I feel. And now that I can do that, no, I don't, so I just really, am very wholehearted when I see a bunch of people getting diagnosed. Not saying that there aren't, you know what I mean? There's some people that need help and stuff, and that's great that they're getting it. But maybe sometimes people are just so quick to put a label on something when really we just need to figure ourselves out.
I could frame it this way from something we were just talking about, where basically, and I'll ask this as a question, not to make any statements. Could it be that these diagnoses are a comfortable place for people to sit in victimhood for some people? Some people might have an actual issue, but some people now have an excuse, a validated excuse from a professional to now be a victim. And look at me, I'm a victim. And again, it's not, people do get sad and things happen and all this stuff, but like you were able to heal yourself. You didn't need all their validation. So like if you could do it, I feel other, anyway, this isn't medical advice, everybody, but that's why I asked the question. Could it be some people get in that victim role and they steep in it? And I feel I know that because I was there in my life, everybody. So, that's why I'm saying this.
I was 1000%.
Yeah.
I suffered with chronic post-traumatic stress disorder for 10 years. And
were you 12?
No. I know.
You don't have to say what year you were born.
How old I am. Guess how old I am? No,
oh,
I'm 33.
Oh, same as me.
Of course, you guys are both 33 because I just said this to somebody yesterday that everybody I've been interacting with is 33 because I'm 44 this year. Well, I'll be 45 in July, but it's been on this thing. So I might have just said 33 if I thought about it because that's what's been happening. But it was hard for me to guess because you're kind of like me where you look young, but you have this knowledge and it's like, and I have this joke where it's like people, and it would be my opener a lot of times. It's kind of corny, but I'd be like, people, they're either like, this guy's like, looks really good for 40 or looks like a 16-year-old who's been smoking for 30 years. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly.
I put it on that I use aloe jelly as for my skincare.
I use not giving a shit.
Well, aloe jelly is called the plant of immortality, and Cleopatra used to put herself in it. So.
Ooh, Cleopatra, who's probably let's not say that, but yeah, we'll trigger people.
Okay, so Jamie, let's go back here to your gifts. Mm-hmm. You've already discussed that you live in Wisconsin. Growing up and living in that place, do you feel like it's open to people? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. And you, again, we've never met, so I don't know like what your situation is in terms of like significant other, family, but your family is into like whatever you define as family. Do they get it or not really? No, and that's why I think because now today it's so open. Well, our generation is more open to it, and we're all born being intuitive. And I'll finish answering your question. I just wanted to go back into this before I did because I think it's an important piece. So when we're little, right? When we're little and you walk into a room and you're like, what's wrong, Dad? Right? Yep. And while you're a little kid, Dad isn't going to tell you his life problems. So he says, oh, nothing. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Right? So we dismiss that instinct at a young age. And then we've been brought up to just believe that stuff is witchcraft or nonsense. And so it's not that we lose it, but we just don't even listen to it. Everything's coincidence. Everything is just, okay, that happened, whatever, we don't hear it. We don't care about it. And so my parents were the same. Do they know I do it? Yeah. Do I talk about it when we go out for dinner? No, I don't. It's just my thing, and that's okay. And, I do it online. I don't go around to my friends. And I mean, not really my friends don't care. I do it with my boyfriend. He's cool with it. Yep. But, I don't know, random people in the community and be like, hey, you want me to read you? Like, no, I don't do that. But it's me. It is who I am. And if people ask, I'm not going to hide it, but I'm not going to voluntarily bring it up and talk about it. And so when you like go out with your parents, do you like kind of shut it off, or do you just not speak what the messages that or whatever it is that you're feeling? I just don't speak them. Okay. That's so interesting.
Have you found a way that works better than one other way? Because for my own experience, because I came to my understanding, one of my roads was I went through studying a little bit of Buddhism and Hinduism. So they talk about like mantras. So I had a mantra for a while. So sometimes I'll use that tool because now I feel like I have my own cosmology with a bunch of different tools in my kit. So sometimes I'll use that mantra. And especially if they're talking about problems in their life that I know I already know the solutions because I could see that they're causing them, but they don't want me to tell them that because then I'm the, then you're the asshole, whatever. So I'm just like, da, 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 da. So I kind of like will chop through it, but then I'm also there listening. Like I am in the moment and I am present for them and I am like not tuning out. I'm trying to stay there for them. So that's worked for me. Like, have you found anything that's worked for you?
It's more or less just the sense of like understanding and having to be okay with things, I guess, if that makes sense. Because
Like empathizing kind of.
yeah. And a lot of times it's more or less when people don't ask me for advice. I think I have an issue when people ask me for advice that I just really start giving it out, and I probably am too involved. So I probably do need to work on that. But okay, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, and
My cat. I'm just kidding.
your cat, yep, that, and a really pretty girl or a really pretty guy walks by, okay, and you can feel like the sexual tension, okay,
Right.
it's gonna piss you off, right? Like, oh man, like I can feel it,
Yes.
feel it, but you have to let it go. You just do. Why? Because, oh God, it's human nature. Even, we all are
It's
like,
an animalistic just
yeah.
instinct.
And so it's really, really how you have to really work on self-regulating and putting yourself in the shoes. Okay, Jamie, understand, like this is normal. And I just keep my mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep my mouth shut. Or, things I pick up on my parents. We're out to dinner and we're talking and I'm just getting things and I'm feeling vibes. They just stay right in my head.
Yeah, I got to start working on it myself. I've been working now more. We're trying to like hint and riddle at things, but now I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, because
or ask
people that don't,
questions.
yeah, people that don't want to be helped,
Yeah.
you're gonna emotionally drain yourself. And I had to learn that the hard way in a previous relationship, that he was a victim and I'm I'm not, clearly. And I'm over here like trying to change him and trying like, can't you see it? Shaking him and like literally to the point where I was supposed to get married in September and I left him in July because after 3.5 years, because I was like, I can't do this anymore. And or there's certain circumstances where people walk in a room and you're like, what's wrong? And you're like, nothing. What? No, like, what's wrong? Like, fucking tell me what's wrong. Like, I know, so just tell me. And no, nothing's wrong. Like, I had to come to accept that they're not ready to tell me. And when they're ready, they'll tell me. Because otherwise, I'm going to go crazy. What's wrong?
Yeah, I used to be like that all the time.
I'm just so in awe of anyone that has those kinds of gifts. I feel like I'm like so desperate to have something like that. Like I would love to have that kind of feeling and intuition.
Take it.
I know everyone has like their own gifts, right? And their own, but and that's why I have so many questions all the time because I don't have it and I'm just so intrigued by it.
Yeah, but you say you're a medium, correct?
No.
Oh, I thought you said you were a medium.
No, I said I went to a medium. And
okay.
No, I wish. And
maybe because in the beginning I said, remember I said people will automatically think that, I could talk to their dead grandma, and you're like, that's me. Oh, you meant that's me, like I'm the one that would ask.
Yes.
That.
Yes. Yes. No, I mean, I'm always like, we had a medium on as our first guest, Jennifer, and I just, it's like I can't stop asking questions because I'm just like, I'm so intrigued to know, because I don't know what that feels like or what it is like to have those kind of messages come through.
You can. We all have the ability. It's just, I think, people ask me all the time. I think this is the biggest question I get. How do I strengthen my intuition? It is such a hard question to answer because it really depends on you, okay, and the type of person you are, how you're structured, and what the shit that you need to get through, okay? But I think one, becoming extremely self-aware and being able to self-regulate, being mindful and meditating, so living in the present moment, obviously, because when we're doing that, we're not thinking about the future, about the past. We're in the present moment and we're able to listen to our thoughts and our feelings, okay? But 90% of us are living in the future or living in the past. So what are your emotions in the past? Or, well, you really can't live emotionally in the future because it's unpredictable and unknown. But
there's feelings associated with that. Exactly. Or anxiety.
It's anxiety. Yeah. It's the fear of the unknown, the what ifs, right?
Right.
What if this, what if this? So it's anxiety. So when you're living in the future, you're anxious. When you're living in the past, 90% of the time, you're depressed. When you're living in the present moment, you're able to be happy and grateful and be mindful and think about what you're actually feeling and hearing.
I know that's like a very generalized kind of advice, but it felt so personal to me, everything you just said. I don't want to, I'm going to try and zip the lip here because I asked you to bring your oracle cards. Now what I want us to do, because this is a perfect segue, to just pull a card for Brandon, pull a card for me, and let's see, the past guests that we've had, I feel like the message for me has been exactly the same. Brandon, do you agree?
Yeah.
And so I'm just really interested in seeing.
Go ahead, because I have something I could say while you go and do that. If you have to grab something, is that what you're doing, or?
No, my daughter's calling my name.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Okay,
and then
I'm just gonna.
And then you can
answer
come back.
her.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
All right, everybody. What I wanted to say, what Jamie was talking about being in the present moment, which is so true because existing in the present moment. And so what I'm saying, Jamie, I'm just adding to what you were saying about existing in the present moment. What I found in my own life is it comes down to the natural state of being a human, right? So think about animals. Animals are basically constantly in the present moment. They're always in the present moment. The only time they aren't is if, like, for example, if an animal gets beaten or whatever, it has those tendencies. That's because it's learning, and but other than that, and then so we as humans are endowed with this gift of being able to think about the future and the past. And that's actually a really big gift. And I think they talk about it in Genesis a lot in the Bible, and people kind of miss that. But the problem is in the misunderstanding of that, and in thinking of that there could be like a good or a bad outcome. So if you can come back to like the present moment and realize that, like I was saying before, everything that happens, it happens for a reason. It's supposed to happen that way. That's kind of what helped me give a big understanding, but I feel I've said too much for the slobs out there listening. Just kidding, everybody. But yeah, no, I feel that's really what the present moment is about. It's about being more in tune with nature. And I talk about the world, which is kind of like the outside exterior world. Like if you went to Chicago, how people act, it's basically a direct inversion to what nature is. And again, not that there's anything wrong with it, but once I realized that, I was able to operate in that world and not let it take such a toll on me, because I'm like, oh, I get it now. This is why this is going this way and this is this way. So I just wanted to add that to what you had to say about the present moment.
Yeah, and I love that. Sorry, I was reading Ashley too.
Yeah? Okay. So this is what we normally do. I'm going to say do Brandon first. That's fine.
Oh,
no,
do Ashley first.
No, do me first. Do me first. Look, do you see how giving that was of me? I'm growing as a person, Brandon.
Yeah, I get a veto power anyway, so don't worry. Ashley goes first on this one. I get one because just so you know, we have a tarot card podcast we have done for over a year where we just break down cards, but we just started having guests on, and you're our third guest. That's the scenario. And for the people who are listening, just so you know. So yeah.
And you said so the other two were similar?
And what they said to me, yes.
Okay. Are they talking about being grounded, being mindful, working on mindfulness, living in the present moment?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I got for you. And I also got, because I like to pull more than one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I get a big store, right?
Mm-hmm.
it just isn't enough. I just need to know.
Yes.
I'm also
FOMO.
getting that I want you to be a little bit more confident in yourself when you're speaking to yourself internally. Okay. So our thoughts and our words are a reality, right? And so if you're saying like, I'm amazing, you're going to be amazing. Okay. I'm shitty. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. That's the outcome, right? So when inside in thoughts, I want you to start saying things like, I got this. This is amazing, because you're starting a new business.
Yep.
Okay. Scary, unpredictable, unknown. I would get why that would come through. And if you say you don't, one, you're lying, because guess what? All three of us do.
Yep.
Okay. But here's the thing, is that a subconscious habit. Okay.
Yes.
And I just made that subconscious habit conscious. And now it is impossible to make it subconscious. So what I want you to do is, what is the opposite of I can't do this or I'm not good enough?
I can do it. I am good enough.
All right. So every time you catch yourself saying that, I want you to switch it and say that. Okay.
And you know what's so funny is I told Brandon, and not that I'm like a devout Catholic or I subscribe to like any of those things, but I said that for Lent, just because I felt like it was a long enough period of time, I said, I'm not going to say anything bad about myself, because Brandon can attest to this. He caught me doing that, saying those things. And he said, and you've probably seen this entire time, my dog walking around. And he said, what if somebody said those things about her? And I said, I fucking kill them. Like,
She would.
I was like, no one will speak about her like that. Like,
She would.
like she is my angel. She is my like my heart. And he's like, so why would you let someone speak about, like, why do you speak about yourself that way? You wouldn't let somebody speak about her like that. And I would never, like, look at this little angel right there, Giz. Like,
I guess.
like I would never let somebody say those things, and I would never say those things about her. You're absolutely right. And the other thing that they said is that I have a lot of problems letting go of a logical side of things. Like I have this needs to be like XYZ, it has to be in this kind of format. And they said I need to trust that intuition, like let go of that, because it's holding me back.
Yeah. I mean, I could keep going with you, but those are the two that I got right off. I mean, do you want me to show you the cards?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the first one, see, it says spend more time outdoors. Okay. So that just validated to me that when my thought process of she needs to be more mindful, more grounded, well, spend more time outdoors, being one with nature, grounding yourself, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so the other one is be gentle with yourself.
Oh my God, I love that picture. It's a man with like, or it's a person with like a little lamb on his neck.
Yeah, these are Archangel Michael cards.
Okay.
They're my oldest deck and my favorite deck.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of beat up. But
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I might have to get that deck. That's because I've been talking a lot about Christian things lately, and and bringing them back to, you know, simple everyday things. Like, look, oh my guys, this is all intertwined. Like the tarot, because I've been interacting with Christians lately, and I'm like, guys, listen, it's possible that, you know, it's all the same. Like, you know, don't fear and hate things. But yeah, I love that. That's cool.
yeah. I also, this is another one of my favorite decks, which is the Seven Energies, and this is based off the chakras. I am still just obsessed with my Archangel Michael. I just feel like it is just the best deck ever. But the pictures in these,
oh my gosh,
are just
it's amazing. All of the illustrations are just so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And like and I just know they are, and it's like, and how do you pick them? Because you're like, wow.
I literally just impulsively, like, if that's my deck, I'm gonna get my deck. Like, I let my intuition like do it for me. I don't like the minute you sit there and you're like, that's a good one. That one looks good too.
Yes.
Now you're overthinking it.
Yes.
And now you're not thinking with your intuition. You're trying to think in a very logical,
Yes. And so, exactly. And my problem is, in terms of being logical, I feel like I'm very creative, but I feel like we're so taught that in order to get to this point, you need to follow this path. And exactly. But my family, in terms of especially what I'm trying to do, can be very traditional and like, well, why aren't you doing all of these things? And it should be like this. And it's really hard for me to push that aside.
To let the judgment of others go.
To let the judgment, but also I have a hard time not being influenced by my family. And Brandon can attest to that. Like everything that they
feel. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Do I feel what?
Like almost like you need a validation, like instinctively, like I need a validation from my family that this is okay, and then I feel good to move forward.
In the past, yes, 100%. And when I've done something that they don't agree with, a lot of times that weighs very heavily on me. So I'm in the process of getting a divorce. I have been told by some people in my family, they don't agree with it. They're very against it, and it's my fault, which has really helped me not move forward in terms of dealing with it because I feel so guilty then. You know, and what I need to do, I think, is just put up boundaries, but it's hard because it's like the idea of then there's like the boundary to me means like there's a lack of connectivity and closeness. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Now this is turning into a therapy session here for me.
I know.
If you're comfortable, just keep going. I mean, I
always tell people, I'm like, I'm not a therapist, but I feel like I could be one.
And I can tell you, I'm working. So I'm one of my friends and I are kind of working together to me help her get her business started. But she is also kind of helping me through some things or whatever. And she's like, you're very open and you're very introspective and you know these things.
Yeah.
But but there's a difference between, I don't know, like a application and just knowing, you know what I mean? Like
the difference between knowing and living something, for sure. Yeah. Yes. But this is the thing though, now that you know it, when it happens, it's going to feel more natural and fall into place. Whereas sometimes when you make breakthroughs, you don't know the knowledge and you're just lost and you have a dark night of the soul. So, you got that going for you.
You're self-aware. Yeah. So it seems like you're putting the work, you're in the middle of putting the work in.
Yes.
Exactly. It's the stage, because logically, like I said, and not to cut you off, sorry, Jamie, but like we're these people who could see and you're seeing into the future. And because you are mostly driven by validations from accomplishing tasks, you want to get it done. But it's like you are in the middle of getting it done. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're right where you need to be at the right time, and you're a master in the making. And it doesn't. We hear of these overnight successes, and I went up into the mountains and a light shined on me and I was just reborn. I don't believe in that. You have to put the work in.
Yes.
Okay. And understand that you are already 10 steps ahead of other people, because there's other people who are still living life, driving the same route, being unhappy and totally unconscious about it. Mm-hmm. And you, at least, like I said, are self-aware and you are learning and understanding on who you are and trying to, to get there. And that's amazing. And you will get
there. All right. So now let's do Brandon. I
like how she's like, all right, now it's you, Brandon. Like, first of all, that was lovely and very powerful, Jamie. Thank you very much. And I'm sure Ashley feels the same way, but she just, that was great.
I'm marinating and
I hear you.
It's just been, when you hear something once, it's like, okay. And then the next person says the same thing. Right. And I'm like, oh, and then it's like, no, hello. Like
the next person's going to have a baseball bat.
Like, can you like listen, please? Like, and so I've been trying.
Good.
And it's one step at a time. I do feel as though like I'm in North Carolina and I will be going back to LA. I think that would be for me really helpful, because it removes myself from the proximity with my family.
No, yeah, I think that's right. Your family seems like it's a very strong influence for you.
It is, because it's always and it has been more so since I separated, because everyone then has an opinion, and no one in my family prior to this has been separated or getting a divorce.
And let's just say that, of course, I'll have to be the one to say this, and this is going to sound horribly sexist, but she has a lot of sisters. There's a lot of females involved. So I'll just say.
Oh, okay.
And she has a twin sister too. So. which I love all her family. They're great. I met them
Mhm.
all. They're awesome people. I'm just saying, you know how, it's so, it's not like,
Yeah.
because sometimes there's like, yeah, anyway, go ahead. You know what I'm saying?
It's so hard because everyone's circumstances are so different. If I was gonna give advice on this, is that when we become fully okay with who we are inside and we're able to respond and not react, because oh my God, I've reacted. Like you know the difference between responding and
Yes.
reacting, right? I feel like we believe that the outcome might be a lot different than what it would be if we're able to be solid in who we are and respond in like, I understand
Yep.
you and I respect that, and I won't talk about, blah, 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 but I also respect myself. And I think, we're both entitled to the way we want to live, and, just responding in a type of way and letting them know that you love them and you care about them, but you love and care about yourself as well.
Yes.
But it takes, I think, a lot of courage and a lot of internal strength to get to that point. And like I said, I also don't know your family. There are certain families that are like, nope, I will cut you off and never talk to you again, so
it's not like that. It's just one of them. Everyone has an opinion in my family, and they don't understand that that's an opinion.
Yeah.
Me
and my family.
Side note, my family does listen to this podcast. So.
You like how she tells you that afterwards, right? Like,
oh yeah. Ooh.
No, it's fine. They honestly never even say anything about the podcast.
I can bring in some. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I don't think. Well, your sister's commented before, right? A little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my mom listens all the time, like every week. So.
Yeah, so they definitely have a close family there. They do care about you, and I feel that if I had to say anything, it's just maybe sometimes it's a misplaced care, because like my dad, for example, he was raised one way, and it's all like I've had a job since I was, I don't know, like came out of the womb. And so now that I don't have a specific quote unquote job where I support myself, especially because of all this craziness that's going on, it could be a source of tension where I'm more like, listen, I'm more fit for this new world that's coming than anybody. I'm like, I could live in the woods. Don't worry about me. Trust me, I'll be fine. And I had that conversation with him, and it's much better now. And I said to him, I go, is it because you're worried? Like, what is it exactly? You're worried about what's going to happen with me after? I'm like, trust me, I am probably one of the happiest people you'll ever meet. I love my life, my direction, whatever happens, I'm not worried about it. So have peace in yourself. Worry about yourself. Like, don't worry about me, man. I'll be good. Like, trust me. I go, everybody loves me. Are you kidding me? I go, have 6 places. I could live in Australia if I want. I could live with Ashley. Like, don't worry about me. I'm fine. So yeah, it's about that, but it's cool.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get you. Brandon, you're a little more difficult. And I think it's because you come on very strongly with your energy. So I do
I go deep.
I do get the that you have a lot of faith, that you have a lot of trust, all right? Like, yes, like there's just a lot of faith, there's a lot of trust in your energy. I'm getting a sense of that you need to almost have a bigger understanding of your powers or your abilities. Does that make sense?
Keep talking.
And in that, I see another, like, almost like another new beginning. Okay, like something else. Like there'll be something else. Okay, but it's more or less looking more internally, being able to be like, this is what I can do. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Like almost with your intuition, with your sense of knowing, becoming more in tune with that and more solid on it. And then with that, I see something new developing in your life. And then you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I see something new developing. Like maybe I don't see you stopping what you're doing. but I see you maybe creating something else with that. Okay. And now remember, we all have our own free will. Okay.
No, I see it too, but I get you. Trust me.
And if you act on this and what I'm saying, and you go down the path that I'm getting, I see a really great outcome. And I also am getting like focus on the divine, focus on the divine. Now the divine is different for everyone, just like success is, correct? So I'm seeing a favorable outcome, and I'm seeing focus on the divine. So I'm seeing really great things in your timeline, as long as you really learn to solidly become knowing with what you have to offer.
Yeah, so I basically just have to allow it to happen and trust it. Yeah, that just happened recently because I'll probably talk about more on another podcast, but I had to go to court for like some traffic crap or whatever, and most people know I'm not a giant fan of the masks, so I had to call yeah, I had to call the marshal of the court, and I called and left a message, and it called back, and just like a Eazy-E song, it was a dude that I knew from around the way or whatever, just like from DJing. He like, he's this guy. He's like, oh, I know who you are. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, don't even worry about it. And in fact, he goes, I thought I had to go to court the next day. He goes, hang on, I'll call you back. He calls me, he goes, nah, they changed it. And he goes, they don't tell anybody. Usually they change it, or the mail, whatever. He goes, but you don't got to come here till mid-May. Call me the day before. I got you. And like for 3 weeks, I was kind of worried about it. But I kept telling myself, here's a chance to just trust it, because this is something I've been working with for a while. And now that I saw it happen, it was like almost like a miracle thing. Now I'm just like, I'm gonna, and I like they said to myself and to kind of other people when I told the story, it's like, if you thought I didn't care before about things, like, fuck, dude, I'm just gonna be like, and not that I have no care inside me, it's just for the eternal world or what might happen to me. I've already said to people, like, I'm not afraid of like jail or whatever. Like I was joking around, because I'm gonna use this in a bit for comedy, where I'm gonna be like, you can lock me in a jail cell, just fall down around me. Like, you don't understand. Like, it's just the way it is, man. Like, I want to be there. Like, I'd love to be in solitary confinement, meditating all day, like that's not my purpose, like
it's not the plan, no. But so, I hope that resonated with you.
Yeah, no, it does.
You hear me.
Do you have any, like you said, Ashley, the self-talk, do you have anything like that as far as,
I did.
I don't want to say advice, but go ahead.
I did get that, and for some reason I really actually almost talked myself out of it, because I really get such a strong energy, and I think it's because you have so much that you're able to do, that I was like, is this guy, like, I second guessed myself. But I did get also the same, I did pull the same card. I did get the be gentle with yourself card as well.
Did you really?
Yeah. And I talked myself out of it, and I was like, I don't know if I feel that.
No, it's very true. That's why I said it to Ashley, because I was projecting it onto her. You see?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, basically that's what I've deduced, because I am hard on myself, but I figured, I wrote this in my book too, because it just came out. That's why I talk about it so much, but I was able to go like, once I realized, and I tell people, once you're on the road to self-healing, immediately you should just have a celebration and be like, look it, because nobody's doing it. Not that many people are doing it. More people now, but most people would rather engage in escapism. So part of that self-talk is, it's all of it, because it's all like, if I come up with an idea, I could easily go, that's stupid, and then just not do it. Or I could write it down, tell somebody, and then it becomes a fucking book. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, and I still struggle.
I guess every day. I second guessed it. I second guessed it from the energy vibe that you give off. That I was like, I don't know. I might just be like, I'm not feeling it. But no, it is the second card that I pulled. Yes,
wow, that's great. That's such a synchronicity, because then Ashley, that's something we both have that we could talk about and work on with ourselves, and maybe we can make it an aspect of the podcast. Like, what are you telling yourself today, Ashley? And then you could be like, Brandon, what are you telling yourself today?
I've made a list of like 4 mantras that I'm trying to incorporate in my morning routine. And not like the ones that like, you're a boss bitch, like nothing like that.
Oh, come on. You got to get the one that's just like, I'm the shit. Because I just listen to that song, because I'm the shit, when I'm in the shower, up in this bitch. That's what I do.
The woman that I'm talking to from my past, she was like, here's the things that you need to like, let's work on some things that you can say. Cause she's like, why are you saying these things? This isn't the Ashley from, 12 years ago. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, cause that Ashley didn't really go through a lot, So yes, Brandon, we should do that. Come up with something. And we're doing it. Our podcast is on Tuesdays, so that we release it. So it's the beginning of the week anyway.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
Perfect
Well,
to just start off our week.
Is there anything else you wanted to say? I think this is probably a good spot to wrap it all up.
Oh my God. So can I just say that Jamie was like, I've never done a podcast before. And now we've been talking for so long. And I still have like so many more questions and stuff.
Oh yeah. That's why I want to leave it here. That's the magic. You leave them wanting more, baby. And then we have her back on and people are like, there's a method to the madness.
Yes.
So Jamie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
If people want to contact you, how do we do that?
Yeah, so you can, my biggest thing is my Facebook group, but you can also, my website is jamieberinger.com.
Mm-hmm.
I'll spell that JamieBeringer.com.
Perfect. Yep.
And then
so it's like Beringer, everybody. BE Ringer, right?
Yeah. Like Beringer wine. Have you ever had Beringer wine before?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's spelled just like that.
Yep.
Just like that.
And on Facebook, what's the name of your group? Side note, I'm a part of it.
Yeah. It's kind of long. Hold on. I got to know the exact wording of it. Don't worry, guys. It's not like I just created it or anything.
No, it's okay. You could send me the links too. We'll put them under this episode, but say it too, though. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Marketing Mastery for Female Soulpreneurs.
Ooh.
And like I said, I'm a part of it. And then do you have do you have an Instagram, or are you not kind of, nope.
I focus on one platform because to me, I can focus all of my energy on one thing.
Yeah.
And whatever's yours is meant to be yours. So if there's somebody on Instagram that's meant to be with me, they'll find me.
Yep. And so thank you so much for being here and literally being so flexible with all the other nonsense I kind of have going on currently right here in my house situation. And everyone definitely reach out to her. She can, like I said, I could talk to you, I feel like, all day long. I
could stay on here all day long too. This is so much fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to say really, exactly. That's why I love doing this.
Yes.
That's what I've been doing for so long.
Yep.
What I wanted to say to you, Jamie, is thank you for coming on the show and thank you for not doubting yourself. I think we had a breakthrough moment that nobody kind of realized, but you also didn't doubt yourself. You overcame your own negative self-talk to help me overcome my negative self-talk, which will help so many other people. So thank you so much for that. And I also want to say one kind of funny thing. After you hang up with us or get off, you're going to have the podcast high because it's your first one. So enjoy it. I want you to like have a good one. So, yeah. All right.
Oh, wait. And then I also wanted to, what was the website that we can go to find out more about the type of person that you were using? What is that called?
Yep. It's myhumandesign.com.
myhumandesign.com. Okay.
All right, everybody.
Put that in my phone right now.
And you can find us at tarotbull.com, TAROTBULL. It's the best pun on the internet. And so find us there on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, any of the Android apps, anywhere that you listen or get fine podcasts. And until next time, stay terrible.